power in you represents. The best motivational quotes, parables, and stories to help you in life. A parable that will change your life. A great dream. There was a young man in the world, and he had a dream to have a high-paying job, marry a beautiful woman, and become famous all over the world. One frosty winter, he was in a hurry for an interview at a well-known company. Suddenly, an old man fell down in front of him. The man looked at the fallen man. The thought came to him that he was probably drunk, but he did not offer his hand. This helped him not to be late for the scheduled meeting. But the interview was unsuccessful. He was not hired for the desired position. One summer evening, he was walking around the city, noticing a group of street performers. He stopped to enjoy the show. After the show was over, applause was heard and people began to disperse. The young man also turned back, but someone timidly touched his shoulder. It was the main character of the play, an old clown. She began to ask him if he liked the play. Was he happy with the actors? But the boy didn't want to talk and turned away in disgust and went home. One rainy evening, a young man was hurrying home from a friend's birthday party. He was very tired, and his mind was racing with thoughts of a fragrant bath and a cozy, warm bed. Suddenly, he heard someone muffled sobbing. It was a woman crying. She was sitting on a bench outside the young man's house alone without an umbrella. When she noticed our hero, she asked him for help. She was in trouble. All she needed was an emotional companion. The young man thought about it. A bathtub and a bed appeared before his eyes, and he hurried into the entrance. This man had lived an unhappy life and died before going to heaven. This guy met his guardian angel. You know, I lived a completely miserable and worthless life. I had 3 dreams, but nothing came true. I'm sorry, my friend, the guardian angel replied. I did everything I could to make all your dreams come true. But all I needed from you was your hand, your eyes, and your heart. Do you remember a man who fell on a slippery winter road? I'm going to show you this picture. That person was the CEO of the company you wanted to join so badly. You had an incredibly successful career ahead of you. All that was required of you was your hand. Do you remember the old clown who came to you with questions after a street performance? She was a beautiful young actress who fell in love with you at first sight. You had a happy future, children, and undying love. All that was required of you, your eyes. Do you remember the woman who was crying at your doorstep? It was a rainy evening, and she was soaked with tears. She was a famous writer. She was going through a family crisis and needed emotional support. If you had helped her to warm up in your apartment, to warm her soul with your wise words of comfort, she would have written a book in which she would have told about this incident. The book would become known all over the world, and you would become famous, because on the main page the author would mention the name of the person who became the muse of this work. And all that was required of you was your heart. You were very inattentive, my friend. The man was sad and walked along the moonlit road into the starry distance. Morality listens to the world. It always offers opportunities to be decent and open-minded, because you never know where success and happiness can be found. The power is in you. Saw. Once an old man was walking through the forest and met a man who was sawing a tree very hard. What are you doing? The old man asked. Can't you see the saw? The man replied, You are very tired. The old man sympathized. How long have you been sawing? Half a day of dust. The man replied, I'm not walking very well. I can barely stand on my feet. It's not an easy job. So why don't you take a break for a few minutes and sharpen the saw? The old man suggested. I'm sure the work will go much faster. I don't have time to sharpen my saw. The man exclaimed, I have work to do. Moral: if you don't take the time to have a clear plan of action and to think about and improve what you do, you will live a fast and miserable life. The power is in you. A parable about God. A man went to a barbershop. While he was getting his hair cut and shaved, he started talking to the barber about God. The barber said, "No matter what you tell me, I do not believe that there is a God." "Why?" the client asked. "You just have to go outside to see that there is no God. Tell me, if God exists, why are there so many sick people? Where do the homeless children come from? If he really existed, there would be no suffering or pain. It is hard to imagine a loving God who allows all this." The client thought about it. When the barber finished his work, the client thanked him, and when he left the barber shop, he saw an overgrown and unshaven man in the street. Then the client returned to the barber shop, invited the barber to the window, and, pointing to the vagrant, said, "There are no barbers." He politely raised his hat and left. Moral: don't judge life by individual observations alone. Concentrate on the good. Look for the good and attract more happiness into your life. The power is in you. Weather. A traveler asked a shepherd what the weather would be like today. The shepherd replied, "The kind I like." "How do you know that the weather will be exactly what you like?" the traveler asked, and the shepherd replied, "I realized that it is impossible to always get what you like. I have learned to love what will happen. That's why I'm absolutely sure that the weather will be exactly what I like." Moral: only we are responsible for the weather in our souls by managing our attitude to situations. You are in control of your life. The power is in you. Friends, there will be even more useful information that can change your life for the better in our Telegram channel, which is in the description below this video. So be sure to go there and subscribe. And of course, subscribe to the channel right now and leave a comment and like this video so that as many people as possible can see it. And thank you to everyone who supports the channel financially to improve the content for you. The bank for replenishment and all the details will be in the description below the video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.